Hi and welcome to Leitrim Daily. My name is Breifne and you are listening to the Sports Roundup here on the podcast. It's episode 135. Now, it's been a relatively quiet weekend of sport in the county, but we still have national championships, the Sports Awards, and a couple of county finals to talk about, amongst other things. We're going to start off with boxing, and congratulations to Dean Clancy, who, although a Sligo man, fights out of the Sean McDermott's club in Manor, Hamilton, and he added to his under-18, his senior championships earlier in the year. He has now added the elite championship and put himself in the frame for Tokyo 2020. An absolutely phenomenal achievement for Dean. I watched the fight on Friday evening and he gave it all and came out on the right side of a 4-1 split decision against Patrick Adamus in the final on Friday evening. He now is the elite champion. He has won every single event he could have competed in this year, and he will, I suppose at some stage, he's mentioned it on the show last week, he will have to box off with the European champion Kurt Walker, who didn't take part in this championship because of injury. So we'll see how that lies over the coming weeks and months, but it will be between Dean and Kurt Walker for a place on the plane to Tokyo next year. Obviously the qualification will be an issue in that as well. Plenty of action in Gaelic games, where we had a couple of county finals and a semi-final. Semi-final at under 15 level between Glencar Manor. They beat Melvin Gaels on a scoreline of 4-11 to 2-5 to set up a final next weekend in Ballinamore against the opposition of Gortletra. So that game will take place next weekend. At under 20 level, we'll be hearing a bit more about this game later on, but St Mary's won the county under 20 championship 2-11 to 13 points against a resolute Fenagh side that just never quite seemed to know when they were beaten. A 4-point victory for St Mary's in that game. Goals from Oisin Bohan and Sam Barnes, the difference between those two sides. We'll be hearing from Oisin Bohan, Jack Barnes and Mark Diffley later in the programme, as well as the two managers, Bobby O'Rourke and Alan Doherty of St Mary's. In the B grade, St Brigid's were victorious, 18 points to 2-8. The goals not good enough there for St Joseph's to keep them in that particular game. St Brigid's winning out 18 points to 2-8. That's an amalgamation of Drumreilly, Auchsheelan and Aughawillan over an amalgamation of Aughavass and Carrigallen. So well done to St Brigid's on that particular success. Also in the ladies' football, the last game of the season took place in the under-18 Girls' Shield final, and that was won by Glencar Manor 6-12 to 2-6 against Allen Gaels. We'll be talking to their manager, Tommy Gallagher, as the manager of Glencar Manor, later in the programme. We'll also be taking a look at rugby and soccer. On the rugby fields, mixed bag for the various teams in the region. Carrick on Shannon had a good win over Corinthians in their Junior 1C league clash, 25 points to 10, while Sligo's first team had a great victory away in the Connacht Senior Cup in semi-final against Galwegians, 31 points to 16, the result there in favour of the Sligo side. They now face Corinthians, All-Ireland League side, in the final of that competition the Saturday before Christmas Day. In Junior 1A, Sligo's second side were well beaten by a top-of-the-table performance from Connemara, who haven't been beaten in a long time. I think 17 games unbeaten at that Junior 1A level for Connemara, 43 points to 19. In terms of soccer, double excitement for the two Leitrim sides this weekend in the Sligo Leitrim League. In the Super League, Manor Rangers ran out victors 3-1 against St John's, despite going behind first. In the first goal went to St John's in the second half of the game, but substitute Seamus Ryder, another strike from Brian MacDonald and another substitute, Shane Walsh, on the score sheet to give Manor Rangers a 3-1 victory. Carricktown had home advantage, but unfortunately had to travel to Sligo IT as the showgrounds was unavailable on Sunday morning, and the Shane Byrne strike was the difference between them and Gertrude as they secure kind of a mid-table position in the Premier Division. Not too shabby from Carricktown on their return to adult football. 2 clean sheets in a row, 2 victories on the bounce. It's a nice bounce into the Christmas period for the Carrick and Shannon side. Now, let's have a look at some of the games in a little bit more detail. In Gaelic games, the under-20 A final between St Mary's and Fenagh took place on Sunday afternoon. and I caught up with a couple of the St Mary's players after their 4-point victory on the day. We're going to hear from Oisin Bohan, Jack Barnes, who was the captain on the day, and Mark Diffley after their victory. Oisin Bohan, one of the goal scorers today. Must be nice to finally get your hands on the piece of silverware this season.
Yeah, it's lovely to finish it off this year. We had a good year at the senior, but we didn't get any silverware, and it's nice to just get something to show for the year, you know.
How do you think the game today went for you?
It started off well, just started ticking the scoreboard and get going. Then Fenagh came into it strong, and we knew from the start they were going to be tough the whole way through. We just had to keep plugging away. We got lucky enough to take 2 goals, and that was the difference in the end. So,
in terms of your own development, you've been on the county teams the whole way up, but do you think you've maybe filled out a bit this year, become a bit stronger, and actually be able to compete on a physical level as well as just skill?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sure, when you're in with the squads and you have your programs or whatever, like, you're building yourself up through the whole time, and just even the step up at the senior this year got me more physical and ready for the bigger hits, so I was able to show it out there today with just a bit stronger looking than usual.
How nice is it to come back after having that period at senior level, to come back and play with lads your own age?
Oh, it's great. Like, even we had the Connacht Minor and didn't end too well for us, but still it was good to be back with your own age and playing with your friends along you've played with the whole way up, so it's good camaraderie with the lads.
Does this make up for losing the senior quarter-final early in the season?
I think it does, yeah. I think it's a good win for us, and we're just happy because this age we've never won anything before, but we just pushed on this year and we did the business in the end.
Well, listen, congratulations today.
Thanks very much.
Mark Diffley, county champion, has a nice little ring to it.
Hi. Well, for me personally, it's my first Division 1 title since ever, so it's personally special to me, but just any medal for St Mary's is a good medal to have,
Under 20 is kind of a grade that people tend not to really pass much attention to until it's actually happening. How important was this team to you this year?
Well, over the last 2 years we had a very young senior team, and we're just trying to use this as an embed to get all these players through, because we had a good success underage. So the under 20 championship was targeted for us, just try and transition lads from that next physicality level up.
8 or 9 of these lads played county football this year at under 20 level. In terms of the benefit that was to this team, how much did you gain from being involved with that team?
Well, obviously it gained a lot. We were very unlucky this year at the under 20s, and we thought we could have done a bit more, but we were trained hard all year, and we could see even come back to club session, even for senior club sessions, we just lifted the level another bit.
In terms of next year, moving forward, this group, I think only Jack Barnes is overage next year, so you'd hope to go and retain that under 20 championship, but also maybe push on in the senior championship. Quarterfinalists this year, do you think you can go further next year?
Well, that's always the aim. Hopefully, we can go further. We probably didn't do ourselves a bit of justice this year. We probably should have done better, and we'll aim to do next year, and we'll aim for this under 20 again next year. I said there's only one player overage next year.
In terms of county football, under 20s coming back in, new management team in place, how do you think the season's going to go at under 20 level for Leitrim? Will you be involved yourself?
Well, I hope to be, but even just from the 2 teams there, I know there's an awful lot of senior Fenagh lads there that we've played with at county level all the way up, and there are a good few of them are under 20 as well. And St Brigid's had a good run in the Division 2, and they have a good few as well. And we wasn't too many overage again this year for the under 20 county, so we're aiming to go hard at it. And we think we have a great chance. We think we'll put up to any goal in Mayo, no problem.
Well, listen, Mark, it's kind of hard to believe it's your first proper Division 1 title in the county at any age grade, but congratulations, and nice to get that little monkey off your back. I'm sure it won't be your last.
Oh, hopefully there's many more to come.
Jack Barnes, captain of the St Mary's side that just won the A championship at under 21 level in the county. You must be happy with that.
Very happy with it. It's we were told last night it's been 1993 since the last time we won an under 20 under 21 championship, and it's just great to bring it back to the club now.
That's before any of you were born. You're all under 20.
Yeah, all of us were born either from 99 to 2002 in that squad there today, and it's great to have it won now. And it's my first time ever beating Fenagh at underage level, and it's a great feeling.
In terms of this squad, you're the only person over age next year, I believe. So most of those lads will be back to defend it again next year.
Yeah, I'm the only one that's over age this year. A few of my mates now decided not to play this year through work and injuries and other commitments, but yeah, the next bunch of lads that are coming through are very dominant team, very great side, and I've grown up with them. They're gonna smash it next year.
Where does this leave the club for going into next season with this bunch of youngsters coming through?
It leaves us in a great spot, especially for the seniors, because we're gaining 4 or 5 new lads for each adult team, and it's just going to be there's going to be places there. There's going to be places up for grabs next year, and it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a very good year.
Excellent, and congratulations today. Enjoy the celebrations, and the best of luck into the next season as well.
Thank you, Breifne. Thank you very much.
We're also going to hear from the two managers of the two teams on the day. Alan Doherty was excited to secure the first championship victory at this level for St Mary's in 26 years, while Bobby O'Rourke talked about his disappointment on the day, but how the future was looking bright after a tough year for Fenagh St Caillins. Bobby O'Rourke, disappointed today?
Disappointed, Breifne, but fair play to Carrick. They were the better team on the day, and we hold our hands up. Well done to them.
The 2 goals proved to be the difference in the end.
That's right. As we're saying, goals win games in the summer, so they certainly win them in the winter, and they proved the winning of it for Carrick, and fair play to them. Congratulations to them.
Disappointing way to end the season, but still on an uplifting note, it's great to get to a final like that, particularly with the year the club have had. You've been appointed senior manager for next year. What's the challenge that awaits you next year?
Well, that's it, Breifne. It's disappointing to end the year this way, but as I said, we're a small rural club. We place a big emphasis on getting all the lads to play, getting somebody out of every house to play, all the players we have, teach them the skills, get the best out of them all, and we'll go back, we'll work hard. We put a big emphasis on football and working hard and training, so we'll go back, we'll regroup. We're disappointed, but it's a tough battle out there, but this team will be back.
In terms of next season, what's your ambitions in terms of obviously Division 2 in the league, but you've managed to stay up in the senior championship, so what's the hope for next year?
Well, the hope for next year is, we've a few young lads there, we'll blood them in for next year. We'll prepare for the league, Division 2 in the league, and to be honest with you, Breifne, we'll take it one step at a time. We're not looking, we got relegated, in the league, so we know where we're about. It's about hard work and getting back to where we want to be, and that's where we'll place our emphasis.
Hard luck today. Disappointing, but I suppose nice to be here all the same.
Yeah, nice to be here, but finals are for winning, yourself. But this team, as I said, has won a good bit over the years, so maybe they know now what it means to have won all those championships all the way up, and you don't get them handed to you, and we'll refocus and we'll go back at it.
Well, hard luck again.
Thanks, Breifne.
Alan Doherty, manager of St Mary's. Congratulations, County Under-20A champions.
Yeah, thanks very much, Breifne. Delighted to get over the line. Good progression from last year. Brought in 6-7 new lads this year into the panel. Most of them, 3 or 4 of them featured today. Great stuff. Massive team performance, I thought. Paul Keaney got man of the match, but there was talk there, or there was no reason why there wasn't 5 or 6 lads that could have got it. There was a real good team performance. So fair play to them. They knew what they were about when they were going out. Very little from our side. It was just let them go out and let them express themselves, and I think they did that. It's a great game of football. Just delighted that we came out the right side of it.
Man of the match on his 18th birthday. It's not a bad trick.
No, it's not. He'd be hard held now. But no, in fairness to him, he put in a massive shift. He's an absolute warrior out there. So he is, and he's a set of hands I haven't seen this club in a long time. He can pull balls out of the sky. But look, credit to him. He's not. It's not true. It's not a fluke. That guy works extremely hard to get there. So credit where credit is due. These boys do work hard. They have a great work ethic about them. So it's a pleasure to manage these boys. Absolutely.
The quarter-final is a narrow victory over Mohill today. 2 goals the difference, but only 2 scores the difference in the game. The game you missed, big massive margin. Does that say something?
Yeah, Thomas Crowe was trying to. I think he was trying to have a dig at me there about that. All right, but yeah, no, we our run for the important ones. I know that's not fair either, but. Yeah, look, it's happy to get over the line, because I tell you what, it didn't feel like there was 2 goals in that at any stage today. They were a fantastic team, and they have boys that are going to be playing county senior football probably next year, so it's just testament to our boys as to how well they worked and how hard they worked to get over the line.
Some people within the GA kind of look down on the under-20 grade, maybe don't give it the importance it deserves. How important is this to a club like Carrick, who didn't take home any silverware at senior level this season?
Well, look, first of all, it's a nice way to round up the year, There's a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into the club, and it's nice to give them something to shout about this week coming into the Christmas. It is a bit late in the year for it. Ideally you want to be playing this in the nice part of the year, but I suppose you'll agree with me, Breifne, it was great conditions out there. The pitch was in good shape, there was no rain, so it was actually good conditions considering it was November, so we can't really complain. But in terms of the club, yeah, it's a good one to win. I actually had to go and ask when was the last time we won one. It's 1993. I didn't realise that it was 26 years ago. So, look, we won't know what could come out of it, but looking at other teams, other big teams across the country, under 21 seems to be important to them. So like, why wouldn't it be important to us? You know, especially when we have teams like that to put out in it. You know.
In terms of your own ambitions, you're the manager of a county championship winning team. Club AGM next week. Will we see you going for any positions?
No, you will not. If I might take this one again, maybe if they'll have me. But apart from that, no, I'll be keeping my powder dry, as the man says. Not at hope. No. Yeah, you go to the AGM, you get a job. That's the problem.
Well, listen, congratulations again today.
No problem. Thanks very much, Breifne. Fair play to you.
On Saturday afternoon in Leitrim Village, the ladies' football calendar came to a conclusion with the minor under-18 Shield final. Glencar Manor were the victors on the day, and they played a St. Brigid's side, which represents, I suppose, the regions of Ahowillan, Aughnasheelin and Drumreilly. I'm joined by Tommy Gallagher, who was the coach of the Glencar Manor side. Tommy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Breifne.
You must be delighted to finish the season on such a high, bringing home some silverware to Manor Hamilton.
Oh, we are, Breifne, yeah, and it follows on a very successful 2-week period where myself and the other coaches of Martin Johnson, Martina Brady and Deirdre Gaffley were also lucky enough to win the under-16 championship final last week against Allen Gaels. So it was a very good 2-week period for us.
In terms of this crop of players, they've had a lot of potential from very early on. I suppose it includes the likes of Myrne Devaney, Hannah Johnson, Leah Fox, who we've had on the show over the course of the last 4 or 5 months that we've been on air. Leah Fox was one of the captains along with Shannon McGlynn. It must be nice to see those young girls coming through the system and really beginning to excel on the county-wide level.
Oh, it is, Breifne. You know, that's our whole... That's our whole aim, really, to bring players through from up to the academy level, the under-8s, under-10s, straight up to the senior level. So it's great to see all the players coming through like that. We had a panel of 27 players yesterday available for us, which included under-14, under-16 and minor.
That's a huge number for a rural club, essentially, Glencar Manor. Even though they're based in a town, in the grand scheme of things, it is still a rural area. Where do you draw your players from, Tommy?
Well, traditionally they're the two clubs, Manor Hamilton and Glencar, and we also have some players that have come into us from Glenfarr and Kiltyclogher, since there's no minor ladies team at that level. So it's basically those areas, Breifne.
A 4-point victory in the end, 2-10 to 2-6. Your goal scorers, Elaine McManus, Anna Devaney, wouldn't be names that we would have heard on the show before, so nice to see some new personalities emerging from within the squad.
Oh, definitely, Breifne, yeah. Well, like every game, it's a team game, so both goals came at the end of team plays, and we had actually, looking at that, we had 8 different goal scorers in that 2-10 score.
Point scores?
Between points and goals, correct, yeah.
Excellent, because nice to see a nice spread, because I suppose from the outside looking in, those teams would appear to have been dominated by 1 or 2 or 3 players the whole way through. So 8 different players on the score sheet, that's a huge achievement.
Yeah, well, like you say, Breifne, you know, it's definitely a team game, and like the first half went our way, and St. Brigid's made a great comeback in the second half. But in the first half, the half-time scoreline was 2-6 to 1 point. So it was really our backs, the 6 backs we had there starting off: Maeve McMorrow, Shannon McGlynn, Roisin McManus, Sarah Brady, Eve McGrath, Hannah Gallagher. They did a great job in the first half with Alva Sheridan and goals. So, and then our forward, we started off the game, actually, Richard Conlon in midfield started off the game with a first score, a point, followed by Anna Devaney after a very good team move. Ray Clancy in midfield scored. And then there was a great individual goal by Elaine McManus, a turn and a volley into the corner. Caoimhe Pryor then replied with St. Brigid's with a point before further points from Emma McGlynn, Ray Clancy, a goal from Anna Devaney from a team move, and Leah Fox gave the half-time score 2-6 to 1. Now, there was a wind in the game, and when Alan Halstead and Maeve Quinn got St. Brigid's back in, they gave them an inspirational talk as they came out straight and had a real go at us. The half-back, Ciara McTeague, got a great individual goal for St. Brigid's. She brought the the ball from the half-back line through our midfield and back lines and slotted it into the corner. And then there was then 3 more scores. And then another goal. So that brought it back to a 2-point game. And the game was really in the mix at that stage. And what happened then was Mern Devaney got a point for us. And then St. Brigid's had a real chance to tie it up with a goal, but our keeper, Alva Sheridan, just raced out from the line and stopped it. And they got a resulting point from that. But it was still then just a 2-point game. But we were able to get the next 3 scores, 2 more points from Mern Devaney and a good point from Emma McLaughlin. And at that stage, we had I think it was a 5-point lead in the game. And St. Brigid's got a score, and then came a turning point in the game too. Literally, it was 1 minute into injury time, and Adele Shanley from St. Brigid's midfield and Safer Quinn, who had a very good game for them. Adele took a shot, and it was a great save on the lines by Alva Sheridan again. So it was a really close finish, and it was a very good end. You know, a very competitive game. Like that's what Paul Rowley said when he presented us with the shield. It was a very competitive game there, and good way to end the season.
It's always nice to hear games, and particularly finals, being competitive and rather than one-sided. I suppose that the wind probably played a factor in terms of the half-time score and the second half progression of the game. But Tommy, listen, congratulations. It's been a phenomenal year for Glencar Manor. It's nice to wrap it up with a trophy. I know you're still involved in the boys under 15 championship, which is ongoing, will be settled in the next week or so. But it must be nice to have another bit of silverware for what has been the 50th anniversary, and also, as of this weekend, the best club in the county across all the sports from the Leitrim Sports Star Awards. It must be nice for everybody involved in the club, coaching teams, running administration behind the scenes, or even just washing the kits, down to get that kind of acknowledgement from around the county.
Oh, it was a great boost last night, Breifne, from the Leitrim Sports Partnership to get that award, and it gave everybody a boost in the club. So yeah, we're all delighted to get that, and looking forward to the next season ahead now, and good luck to the boys that are left still in the season.
Well, listen, Tommy, thanks very much for joining us again, and congratulations again on the minor achievement.
If I could just say, I'd just like to say thank you to our sponsors, Manor Hamilton Credit Union, which gave us a set of jerseys this year, and Phelim Gurn and Gurns, who gave us a bit of food after the match, and John McManus for the first aid supplies throughout the year. So thanks very much, Breifne, for that.
Absolutely. It's very much a community effort down there in Manor Hamilton, as it is everywhere around the county. Tommy, congratulations again on your victory on Saturday.
Thanks, Breifne. Chat to you soon. Bye now.
And finally, let's take a look back at the Sports Star Awards held in Lough Rynn Hotel on Saturday night. And the standard of nominee was absolutely through the roof. Some phenomenal achievements marked by some of the nominees across a range of sports on the night. The Hall of Fame was the only award that had been announced ahead of the event. And Mickey Martin, that Leitrim and St. Mary's hero from the 70s, 80s and 90s, a huge career in the green and gold of Leitrim and the white and blue of St. Mary's. And he was given the honour of being this year's inductee into the Hall of Fame, a well-deserved achievement. In terms of the other awards, I'm going to go run through the award winners really, really quickly. Juvenile Team of the Year went to Manor Hamilton Rangers under-16 side, who won the Skechers Connacht FA Cup, while Alana McGuinness, the athlete from Mull, took the Sports Individual Junior category. In primary school teacher, Adele McCartan of Dromeela, she was the winner in that competition, while Anthony MacDonald of St. Clair's in Manor Hamilton took the secondary school teacher award. The Sports Individual Senior saw Leitrim hurler and Leitrim Gaels footballer Colin Morton take home the honours there. The hurlers also took the Team of the Year award, that's the senior hurlers, while James Junior Hazlett of Drumkieran took Volunteer of the Year. In terms of special achievement, Flo Bio swim team, who swam the length of the Shannon, they were the victors in that particular competition, while Terry Hyland was Coach of the Year. Glencar Manor, in their 50th year of existence, were recognised as the Club of the Year. There were some phenomenal achievements on the night, but the unsung hero of the year was shared between Francis Flynn and Mark McGowan. Congratulations to both Francis and Mark who shared that Unsung Hero Award on the night. The overall Sports Person of the Year did go to a familiar face, Gerard O'Donnell, a stellar year on the national and international stage for the 110 metre hurdler. It was a great night, lots of amazing people, those who I've listed and every single person nominated, from professional sports right down to local heroes, volunteers, athletes and administrators and school teachers. A great night out as always, and Jason Black, the guest speaker, absolutely inspiring from the stage as well. Congratulations to all the nominees, and particularly the people who were recognised for their achievements as the winners in each category on the night. Delighted to say I'm joined by Eileen Maxwell of Flow BO to talk about their victory in the Special Achievement Award. Eileen, welcome back to the show. It's been too long.
Hello, Breifne. How are you? Yeah, it's a while now since we were chatting, is right.
Tell us, just to remind us, give us a bit of a refresher on what exactly Flow BO is and what you achieved this summer.
Flow BO was our charity swim from Dowra to Limerick, 245k that we done in the summertime in August. It took us 32 days, I think it was. It was 9 days of sitting admiring the water, and then the other 20 whatever days, 2 days, we were able to swim. So it took us a week longer than what we had expected, but that was it. Our swim, and our two charities was Irish Cancer and A Lust for Life, a mental health charity.
That's fantastic. And of course, you were joined on this particular adventure by your daughter, Heather, and a close friend, Toni McGlynn, all from Anaduff. And you managed to swim past the house in the first couple of days. Little wave up to the rest of the family, although they were probably on the boat behind you. Remind us, I suppose, about the highs and lows that you went through on that course of that 245 kilometre swim.
Well, I suppose the highs really was the first part of the swim, really, and the lowest point was Lough Rynn. And I suppose that, not to be too negative about the whole thing, we met some brilliant people on our journey, you know, from Joe Clare there in Leitrim Village, down to David Price, down to Pat Lysert. We had Kieran Walsh here from Jamestown, and we had Longford scuba divers. So we made great contacts and friends along the way. So we were, you know, that was great to meet all them. So that was the highest part of it, and meeting the crowd in Limerick, the Master Swimming Club, that they swam in with us to Limerick.
And of course, you mentioned the two charities already, A Lust for Life and the Irish Cancer Society. In terms of the benefit for those organisations, over €20,000 raised for both, or for to be shared amongst both of the organisations.
Yes, we have our final. We got the blue tokens there in Tesco's, so we're meeting them tomorrow, getting our presentation from them. So we'll make the final presentation then to our two charities when we get all done and dusted then. Later on in a few weeks, so we'll have that done hopefully before Christmas. How
does the night on Saturday night compare to the feeling of crossing that finish line in Limerick? Were they comparable, or I suppose it was a different setting? It was much drier. You weren't wearing a wetsuit this time round.
Yes, we were joking at that this morning. We were in ORourke this morning. We were saying we should have wore our wetsuits out to Lough Rynn, but no, it was coming into Limerick was really very emotional and I suppose a different feel of pride that they are standing with my two daughters, that one kayaked and one swam, and my good friend Toni. There was a great sense of pride there. And last night, standing on the stage, the emotion that got a bit better than me, and my speech didn't quite deliver that the feeling of pride I had with standing with my daughter Heather that swam, and Cora that kayaked the whole way, and my good friend Toni that swam with us the whole way. So I was a very proud mammy standing on Lough Rynn stage last night, that what we achieved. You know, it's not too many mammies that can say that we swam the whole way to Limerick, one daughter swimming with you and one that kayak. So I'm looking forward to when I get into the nursing home, that when I'm ranting and raving, people will be thinking I'm gone in the head completely, that I'll be saying I swam to Limerick with my two daughters. But anyway, well, it'll be a pride to be held for many's a year.
When you say there aren't many mothers that can talk about it, is only one mother, because essentially you're the group of you, the three of you, yourself, Toni and Heather, are the only women to ever have finished a swim of the length of the Shannon. So it's a huge achievement. Congratulations to everything in terms of the swim, which we've obviously covered extensively on the show here, to your success over the weekend in what was probably the most competitive category on the night. The likes of Francis Flynn, Mark McGowan, they both shared the Unsung Hero Award, and Paul Brady and Carrie McDade also nominated in that category. So phenomenal night for everybody. I suppose you were mixing with the great and the good of Leitrim Sport. What was your highlight of the night in terms of the people you might have had a chat with over the course of the evening?
I really enjoyed the guest speaker, Jason Black. I thought you could listen to him all night. He was absolutely, astonishing what he went through, and the training to get himself ready for that the events that he done, climbing Mount Everest and all his other challenges. And even the video, the hair stood standing in the back of your neck when you were watching him. They're trying to climb up through the snow and the wind effect through the sound system and everything. You were nearly there with them. But I really enjoyed that bit of it now.
Has it given you any ideas now that you've swam the Shannon, or maybe heading to the mountains, Everest or K2?
No. No, definitely not, Breifne. I'm not good at heights.
I suppose if
more would be the height
if Heather can't see it from the kitchen window, it's not really going to be on the radar. Eileen, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on all your success. It really has been a year that yourself, Heather, Cora, Toni, and of course your entire family are not going to forget in many, many years. So congratulations on your success again.
That's lovely. Thanks very much, Breifne. Thank you.
And that, folks, is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow with Faces and Places from the launch of the Leitrim Guardian on Sunday afternoon. Talk to you then.